welcome to Voice of the Coast. Chris Hunter filling in for Danica Foley Long today. And we have a two-part show tonight. Part one, we're dealing with a Morgan City Christmas tradition. It is Christmas by Candlelight on Bernice Street coming up this Saturday night, 11 o'clock, December 11th from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Gary Driskell, a Bernice Street resident, is with us, and your wife kind of helps put all this together. And you and your wife are not, I haven't been with this from the beginning. It's hard to believe it's 36 years you've been doing this.
Yes, very long time.
How long have y'all been involved?
5 years.
Okay. 5 years. What do you know about the history of this event?
It's just been put together a very long time ago, and just trying to stay in the Christmas spirit. And at one point, they even had horses involved and different things. This, trying to promote Christmas and the joy of Christmas.
Do you know who started the idea or came up with the concept of wanting to do a full street of decoration, with getting everybody to cooperate and be a part of this?
No, that I don't know. There's so many residents that's been there that's unfortunately come and gone, and new ones has come in, such as myself. But I don't know who started it.
Yeah, that's the nature of living in Morgan City. To some extent, we're kind of a transient community that you have people constantly moving in and out. In your case, you're from this area, so when you moved on to Bernice Street, you kind of already had an idea this was going on, right?
Yes, I know it'd been going on for years, and throughout the years we'd drive by and see all the lights, and it was just a really special thing.
Mm-hmm. Do the new residents coming in, does somebody kind of come and give them a kind of an orientation? Hey, listen, we do this every Christmas.
Yes, every year, we get together with different residents and say, this is what's going on. And they pick a date, and we explain to them we'd like to get them involved and join us in the spirit of Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Are the new residents generally receptive of the idea? They
are. I mean, Christmas is that time of year that everybody's happy and joyful, and most of them are more than happy to join in.
All right, this is coming up Saturday night from 5:30 to 9 is when the public viewing is going on. And of course, I think you mentioned possibility of rain Saturday night. What happens if it does rain? Because there's about an 80% chance of rain.
Yeah, it's not looking good. We're thinking about postponing it till the next Saturday, and but hopefully we'll be able to kick it off this Saturday and get it done.
Yeah, that's when we're hoping for and planning for. And you saw on the graphic there, if you're going to come by, you can walk, but don't park on Bernice Street. You can park on one of the neighboring streets and walk through it. No bikes, no skateboards, no riding toys, and that's for everybody's safety, which we understand. Right. I know in past years, you get some pretty big crowds out there.
Yes, the first year we've done it was really more than what I expected. It's hundreds and hundreds of people. Walking and driving through, just enjoy themselves. Is great to see the smiles on people's faces.
And as far as an event goes, does the neighborhood try to keep it to the one day? I know everybody kind of puts their lights on it every night, yes. But are we really focusing on just the one night?
Yes, this is the one night that we really want everybody to participate, but you're right, everybody usually has their lights on if they're home, and this is the one big night. Now, I know we have talked to some of the old folks' homes that wants us to do it for them due to the fact that they can't get out and walk and everything else, and we're looking at a night just for them.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, keep us posted on that, please. If you're going to come visit, they want you to come in on the Cottonwood Street side, and then pass through and you exit on Redwood Street. Now, let's talk about some of the things going on besides just the lighting going on. What are some of the things that will be happening along the street?
Along the street, we have different volunteers, different residents that volunteer to do hot chocolate. They'll have cookies. They'll have popcorn out. We also have a train that will be running. That will give the kids rides up and down the streets. We also have somebody that will be there for Toys for Tots. So if somebody wants to bring an unwrapped gift and give that in, we also will have different barrels that somebody can bring canned goods that will go for St. Mary Outreach. So it's just a community that's coming together, trying to help each other and do some good things.
Okay. Tell you what, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Voice of the Coast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. We are talking about the Bernice Street Christmas by Candlelight event coming up this Saturday night, 5:30 to 9 o'clock on Bernice Street. No parking on the street. If you're gonna come visit, please don't park on the street. You can walk if you like, or just drive through. No bicycles, no skateboards, no riding toys, and that, of course, is for everyone's safety. Gary Driskell, Bernice Street resident, here with us. Of course, you have to have Santa Claus on this somewhere, and I'm sure you do.
Yes, we do. Santa Claus will be there taking pictures with all the kids or anybody that wants to take a picture. And, you know, he's, of course, a fan favorite.
Now, is he going to be roving around, or does he have a location?
He will have a location that he'll be able to sit and stay there, and he'll have a backdrop. So anything that they want, he'll be there to have the kids sitting on his lap and giving out candy and everything else.
And I understand you're going to have another Christmas celebrity on board.
Yes, we're going to have the Grinch there. He's been there for a few years now, and seems like a fan favorite as well.
All right. Do we know his plan?
His plan, he'll sit around a little bit, but he'll rove around and talk to the kids and have a good time with all the kids that's going to be there. Very popular with the adults as well.
Yeah, and you said y'all have had a Grinch for a few years. What are the kids' reaction normally to seeing the Grinch out there?
At first, the small ones are a little hesitant, but next thing you know, they're climbing all over him like they're best friends. So, and you know, like I said, when you see the smiles on their faces, and it's not just the kids, it's the adults as well. It's a really good thing.
Some of the other things you mentioned a train. Huh?
Yes.
What's that going to be like?
We have a train that goes around. It has several cars behind it, and it blows a whistle, and it just kind of drives slowly up and down the streets and lets the kids give the kids a ride where they can see all the lights and everything else, and they'll bring them back to the parents, and it's a very popular hit as well over there.
Yeah, and I guess we should kind of point out to people if they've never come to see this, if you do choose to do it by car, you need to kind of be patient out there. It's going to be very crowded, and it's not going to be a quick pass-through process.
No, it's not. It's like we said earlier. It's hundreds of people out there walking. They're on the sidewalks. They're on the streets. So we do ask you to drive slowly and be safe, and keep that in mind.
And you want that, of course, as a resident, because I'm sure everybody is putting a lot of effort into their own personal decorations.
Yes, they do.
Okay. For you at your house, how long does it take you to set up your display?
Usually a good day or so, depending on how much the wife wants.
Is there anything unique as far as displays that from what you've seen with either you or your neighbors? Is anybody doing anything really extravagant this year?
There's a couple of houses that always do a great job. You know, they just have so much, and they've been doing it for years, and they've collected so much over the years, and they really go all out. Some of them do some walkways where, you know, you walk through it, you know, on the sidewalk and different things. But really unique, really nice. Yeah,
and that's where it really comes in nice for the walkers. You seeing this for so many years, what's your preference? If you were going to step back and do this as a viewer rather than a participant, would you stay in the car, or you want to be on foot?
I'd want to be on foot. You know, you get to talk to a lot of the residents if you're on foot. You know, like I said, there's so many volunteers that's handing out the hot chocolate, the cookies, the popcorn, and everybody's just in a great mood. Just really, really nice.
Okay, very good. One more time, it is Christmas by Candlelight on Bernice Street here in Morgan City. This Saturday night, 5:30 to 9 o'clock. If the weather holds off, if the weather is bad, shooting for the 18th, I believe?
Possibly the 18th, yes.
Okay. You can drive through or you can walk through, as you just heard Gary recommend. Really a much nicer event for you, or a nicer experience if you can get out and go through it on foot. Gary, thank you very much. for joining us. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Great event. You don't want to miss this. Stay with us. We've got more Voice of the Coast coming up in just a moment. Hello and welcome once again to Voice of the Coast. We are changing gears from Christmas to Toastmasters, and I'm going to do my best to get through this intro without ever saying or like or whatever, because if I do, these ladies will be counting it.
I'm counting.
Trinisha Johnson is the Vice President of Education for Toastmasters of St. Mary Parish. Brionna Long is the Vice President of Public Relations. Thank you both for being here.
No problem.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having us.
I just said
You hear it. You start to recognize it every time.
Yeah, immediately you start thinking about it. You become self-conscious. Now, the reason we're here is because Toastmasters has an open house tomorrow night, Thursday at 5:30 at the, there it is again, at South Louisiana Community College, the Young Memorial Campus here in Morgan City. Trinisha, for people that aren't familiar with Toastmasters International, as a matter of fact, can you give a little background to the club?
Yes. Toastmasters International is a worldwide club, and what we do is we meet up and we do speeches, and I know that sounds intimidating, but it really helps. You learn leadership skills, you become a better communicator with impromptu communication, like general conversation. Doing this is my 4th interview with you guys, and I find that Toastmasters has helped with that.
Even networking.
How long have you been a member, Brionna?
I've been a member for 2 years, and this year I'm just an officer.
And I've heard of Toastmasters long before it became a local group, and my impression of it always was it's primarily about public speaking. But how much public speaking do you actually do, or how do you find that it's helped you just in your normal everyday life?
For my normal everyday life, public speaking isn't that prominent, but it does help with general conversation, even with people in the store or somebody you may see on the street. It helps you think about what you say in professional settings. That really helps too, even at jobs.
Trinisha, how about you?
I originally joined Toastmasters because I was working at the library at the time, and I had to deliver a speech to a bunch of kids. I freaked out. I forgot everything that was on my paper. I looked down, I couldn't remember. So that's what made me join. However, I don't do a lot of public speaking. I do have future goals to be an advocate for domestic abuse, so that's where I'll eventually use that. However, I find in my personal life, it has helped me be a better parent, a better listener now. That's what it really helps out with, because we have to evaluate each other. So it has made me a better listener. In my career life, I actually, like I said, I was at the library. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce now. But at the library, I was actually invited to participate on a submarine artwork committee. And I was chosen out of 100 people, we had 9 people who were able to be on that committee. So I find that helped out because I learned how to evaluate and, again, listen. I learned to listen better.
So it's definitely not just for people who, as a part of their life, have to give speeches or make public presentations. It's definitely something that can be worked into your everyday life.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Let's talk about the open house tomorrow night. What's going to happen?
Okay. At our open house, we are having it at SLCC. We have a guest speaker. She is one that's within our district, Shirley Birch. And it's going to pretty much run just like all of our typical meetings. What you can expect is a great environment. First of all, we all about fun. However, it's still professional and educational as well. She's going to deliver her speech. We'll do table topics. We'll evaluate her, and like I said, everyone will be able to see how each meeting run, because it's pretty much the same outline. And light refreshments. Everybody come out for refreshments.
If I'm not mistaken, new members are expected to speak at their first meeting. Is that correct?
No.
No.
Oh,
you're
no.
not?
Oh, no. It is no pressure at all.
Now, I'm not talking about the open house. I'm
Exactly.
talking
I
about
know exactly.
Oh, yeah.
At my first meeting, I did sign up to do a speech at the following meeting. That's because I'm one of those stair climbers. I try to achieve. I'm an overachiever. So I did, but however, you can come to 10 meetings before you decide, hey, I am ready. We want you to feel comfortable whenever you're ready. So we literally don't put pressure on anyone.
Yeah, I think I did mine within the first 5 meetings.
Right.
My first speech. So
Okay, I tell you what, we're going to take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk about what a meeting is typically like when you're dealing with or joining Toastmasters. So stay with us. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. We are talking about open house for Toastmasters of St. Mary Parish coming up tomorrow night, Thursday night, December 9th at the Young Memorial campus of South Louisiana Community College. It's at 5:30. Trinisha Johnson and Brionna Long are here for Toastmasters of St. Mary. Open house is going to be pretty open. That's a good word. It's more about showing prospective members what it's like. But let's talk about, for the sake of the people that decide to join up, how often are meetings and where do they take place?
We meet twice monthly on the second and the fourth Thursday of every month. We typically hold them at the Chamber of Commerce at 5:30 to 6:30. We're real mindful of everyone's time and respectful, so we do try to keep it within that hour. Sometimes it goes a little over, but not much over. And yeah.
And I think there's a membership fee involved, of course.
Correct.
There's always a fee involved, isn't it? How much?
Correct. It's not much. It's not much. And I literally just had a conversation about it with someone who would like to sign up yesterday. I'm a single mother, and my first open house is where I joined Toastmasters, and I'm all gung-ho. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to join Toastmasters. And it's at $51. And I'm like, what? That's a lot for me. That's a lot. But it's only every 6 months.
Okay.
And it's been 3 years, and you know I'm still in it. So I find that you can't put a price on what you get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to stay in it. So.
Okay. Brionna, I joined the club. Come to my first meeting. What's going to happen?
Well, first off, you're going to be greeted and with open arms. And we're just going to introduce ourselves. A Toastmaster will go up there, introduce all the speakers and the evaluators, the timer, the WAG, which is the person that counts all your uhs and ums. And we're just going to organize the meeting and go in there and do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it sounds like because of what the general, speaking of the general purpose of the club, learning about public speaking, there's got to be some speeches going on.
Well, we typically have 1 to 2 speeches every meeting. And we have table topics, which is our impromptu speaking exercises.
That's everyone's favorite part of
Everyone's favorite part.
Okay, talk a little bit more about that. What is that?
Okay. I'm going to do a short little exercise with you.
Okay.
It's pretty much any random conversation, and you have to speak from 1 to 2 minutes, and you have to speak that long, and you'll be qualified. So I'm just going to ask you a quick question, and you generally would speak 1 to 2 minutes on it.
All right.
Okay. We are in an airplane, and there's only one parachute. Tell me why you should get that parachute out of all 10 of these people on this plane.
Oh, and I'd have to go for 1 or 2 minutes and
Yes.
say why I should be the
why.
person to say.
Tell me why you have to be saved.
Well, we don't have 1 to 2 minutes in this segment, so I can't do the speech.
But it's
Right
pretty
now.
much just like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, who comes up with these?
Anyone. At every meeting, at the end of the meeting, we ask for volunteers to pick a role for our next meeting. Mm-hmm. So anyone in a group can actually say, hey, I'll be Table Topics Master for next meeting. So everyone has an opportunity.
And if I'm not mistaken, all of the roles in a typical meeting kind of revolve from member to member.
Correct.
Yes.
We do encourage our guests to participate as well. Say, for instance, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If there are guests, and even when we do hybrid meetings, because now we are hybrid, meaning that we are combining the in-person meetings with the virtual meetings. So if you can't attend in person, we do have a Zoom link on our Facebook page where you can click in and join as well.
Okay. And we're running out of time here in the show, but real quickly, give us an overview of Pathways. What is that about? Pathways
is our course that we follow through. I, for instance, just completed an innovative planning pathway. And what that means is that when you sign up for Toastmasters, you take a little quick assessment on, it's going to ask you different questions. And from that assessment, Toastmasters is going to give you, hey, this is the top 3 courses we think that would benefit you and help you become a better leader or a speaker. Mm-hmm. Once you do that course, you have about 5 levels in each course, and within those levels, you have 1 to 3 speeches. Within that, it's going to teach you tons of different competencies that relates to that particular path that you chose.
What are some of the options that are available in Pathways?
Like I said, I did innovative planning. My new one that I am doing is presentation mastery. There's dynamic leadership, motivational strategies, marketing. It's pretty much anything that you would come across in the business world or public speaking. It has a course for it.
Okay, sounds great. And if we haven't covered what you'd like to know about Toastmasters in the past few minutes, tomorrow night is the open house. It's at 5:30 at South Louisiana Community College, the Young Memorial Campus. Love to see you out there. That is Toastmasters. Thank you both for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We are out of time. Hope you can make it to the open house. Thank you for joining us tonight on Voice of the Coast. We'll see you next time.